Hello, everybody. Tig Davis here with another album battle for you. Happy New Year, happy 2021 to you all. We got a pretty interesting battle here today. So, in one corner from 1982, Uriah Heep, Abominog, with that really bizarre devilish creature on the cover there, and then we have the guys in the band right there. And then in one corner, another comeback. I guess both of these are kind of comeback albums for the band. Yes, 90125 from 1983. So, we're going to talk about Uriah Heep first because this one came out the year before, yes. So, Abominog. So in 1980, Uriah Heep releases the Conquest album. Mick Box by this point is the only original member left, and Ken Hensley was Mick Box and Ken Hensley by that point were the only two original members left, and they got a guy named John Sloman to come in on vocals. Chris Slade was on drums. Trevor Boulder was on bass. They release it. It doesn't really sell all that well. There was some friction in the band between songwriting and how many songs were getting on the album, because Ken Hensley was the main songwriter of the band during that era, and he was getting a lot of his songs on the album, and the other guys in the band weren't too happy about that. So there was all this confusion, and then the band kind of implodes. Ken Hensley leaves, Chris Slade leaves on drums, Trevor Boulder leaves, and Mick Box is left all by his lonesome. So, what else is he going to do, right? So he decides to form a new lineup, getting Lee Kerslake and Bob Daisley from Ozzy Osbourne's Blizzard of Oz. Lee Kerslake coming back on drums and bringing Bob Daisley with them. Getting former trapeze vocalist Peter Golby, and then former, I think he was with the Heavy Metal Kids, and Gary Farr's Lion, John Sinclair on keyboards and vocals. And they come out with this in 1982, and it does some pretty big business for them. So, opening up, and then, this album cover, man, I have a t-shirt of this. This is just bizarre. Walking into a record store in 1982 and seeing this. Oh, man, I gotta have that. The guys in the band right there. But anyway, so on to the music. It was produced by Ashley Howe, recorded mainly at the Roundhouse Recording Studios in 81. Ashley Howe produced one or two albums after this for the Heapsters. Of course, Mick Box on guitar vocals, Peter Golby on vocals, Lee Kerslake on drums and vocals, John Sinclair on keyboards and vocals, Bob Daisley on bass and vocals. So it opens up with the awesome Too Scared to Run, and then, you're just thinking, this is Uriah Heep screaming into the 80s, making a statement for him. Great vocals by Peter Golby on that, great drumming by the late Lee Kerslake on that. And then one of the big hits from this album, a cover of Russ Ballard's On the Rebound, which was a pretty big hit for the band, really catchy tune. Chasing Shadows is track 3, great song. Prisoner, cover of the Susad, and the next song. I like the Susad next just a little better than the Heapsters, but the Heapsters do a pretty good job on this. Sell Your Soul, really great up-tempo hard rock tune, almost thrashy in some parts. Opening up with side 2, That's the Way That It Is, originally done by the Paul Bliss Band. A lot of cover tunes on this album, but it works. Think It Over, another great song. Hot Night in a Cold Town, which is a cover of a John Mellencamp song, and they do a very good job of it. I actually like Heap's version better of the song than John Mellencamp. I think they really knock it out of the park on Hot Night in a Cold Town. Hot Persuasion, another funky rocker there with some great vocals by Peter Golby. And then Running All Night with the Lion, which is a song that I covered around the time Lee Kerslake died. One of my favorite drumming performances from Mr. Kerslake, and this was originally done by Gary Farr's Lion. I think John Sinclair brought this tune with him when he joined Heep. So, overall, in the upper echelon of the Uriah Heep catalog, I think this is a very, very good album. and an album that means a lot to me. I remember this getting delivered from Amazon, and me being really excited about it. So, great album from the Heapsters right here. As is this one, yes, 90125 from 1983. So, this was originally formed. This album came about when Yes sort of reformed as Cinema, and with Trevor Rabin decides to form a new band with Alan White and Chris Squire, and they need so they get Tony Kaye on keyboards, and they need a vocalist, so they decided to get John Anderson, who kind of helps out with some of the songwriting too. I think he made some last minute changes on some of the songs on this album, and they decided to call themselves Yes because I think Echo Records pressured them to, and there were most of the band was consisted of ex-Yes members, so they're like, okay, fine, and this album came about. So, where was it recorded at? It does not say where it was recorded at. But Trevor Horn, the former Yes vocalist who sang on the album preceding this drama, produced it. Sleep produced by Gary Morad and Assorted Images. So we have John Anderson on vocals, Chris Squire on bass, Trevor Rabin on guitars and some vocals, Alan White on drums, and Tony Kaye on keyboards. I forgot to show the inside up here. Got some lyrics. Cool. Anyway, opens up with Yes's only number one hit in their history of the entire band, Owner of a Lonely Heart. Overplayed on radio stations, on classic rock radio stations, but I'm not tired of it quite yet. Great tune. Hold on. The great vocal harmonies on that. The vocal harmonies on this album are awesome, as they are on most Yes albums, but particularly this one. It Can Happen to You, It Can Happen to Me. Great song, really catchy. And then one of my favorite Yes songs of all time, and probably my favorite song on this album, Changes. And then with Trevor Rabin singing most of the vocals on it, but John Anderson coming in on the last verse. One word from you, one word from me. Just a really, really great entrance by him, and Trevor Rabin's guitar solo is to die for too. But Changes, one of my favorite Yes songs, and probably my favorite song on the album. Opening up side 2, we got the short instrumental Cinema, which I think gave them a Grammy nomination. Really cool tune. Great drum by Alan White on that. Leave It, another great song. Our Song, great up-tempo tune that kind of goes off on all sorts of different directions. City of Love, probably Yes's most metallic tune. Great arena riffs, metallic riffing by Trevor Rabin. Sorry, I almost said Trevor Horn. And then closing off the album with the mystical, the atmospheric Hearts. Some great synth work by Tony Kaye and some great vocals by John Anderson. Overall, one of my favorite Yes albums. A lot of people consider this to be their best. I wouldn't consider it to be Yes's best album, but in the top 5, yeah, did they do a great job of changing musical direction and kind of going for a poppy new wave format and a synth pop influenced sound? Yeah, I think so. I think this is a home run in terms of that. Yes would do another album in this vein, Big Generator, which I didn't think worked quite as well. I still think Big Generator's a good album, just not as good as this. I think Big Generator is just 90125, but not as good. Although there's some great songs on Big Generator, which I'll probably cover in a future video. But so when comparing these two albums right next to one another that came around the same time or so, this was a hard one for me because both of these are two of my favorite albums from each of these bands' catalogs, and listening to them with fresh ears again, this was very hard to do because I like both of these albums for different reasons. Both of these are very accessible. Both of these are considered comeback albums by these bands, in a much different musical style than that they had pursued in the previous decade. But when it comes down to it, I'm not going to give it a tie here. And it's not by much. It's not by much. I want to emphasize this. I'm going to give this to Uriah Heep. I know most of you watching probably like this better, but I'm going to give this one to Uriah Heep. Just for me, it's just a little bit stronger and just a little bit more kind of gruff and metallic. And, this has its moments. There are some hard rock moments on this one. This one, I think, takes the cake for me by just a little bit. And when I say this is very close, guys. This is very close. So, Uriah Heep wins this one for me on this New Year's Day album battle. And with that being said, thank you guys very much for watching, and we will see you guys later with more content. Bye-bye.